Hey devotioners, how's everybody doing? I hope that you are well. You already know the drill. My seatbelt is on. I'm driving carefully on the road, observing the road code, and on my way to my destination after a long day. But God is still so good. He is still so awesome. And I love Him so very, very much. But once again, I hope that you are well. And I just wanted to check in with you today. I want to leave you with a thought, leave you with a word of encouragement, and as you know, gotta leave us with hope. We need hope in this time that we live in. I am fascinated with women in the Bible. I study them a lot, quite thoroughly, and I try to connect them to modern women and what that would have looked like for them, what would have been different, what remains the same. I like to make those parallels from then to now. And quite frankly, obviously times have changed, laws have changed. But there's something about a woman. There's something about a woman who's intentional. There's something about a woman who's on a mission. There's something about a woman who understands the assignment. And a woman like that cannot be touched. She's unmatched. And I just love those characters in the Bible. And one of them that I am fascinated by is a woman in the book of Judges by the name of Jael. Very unassuming woman. We don't know much about her, but what she did was extraordinary. What she did set the tone for what I am about to talk about today in our devotion. And I want to say to you quickly that so often as women, we don't always see ourselves the way that God sees us. Most of us rather, let me just preface that. Most of us don't see ourselves as fearfully and wonderfully made. Many of us don't see ourselves as the apple of God's eye. Most of us don't see ourselves as the called of God, the chosen of God. Most of us don't see ourselves as peculiar. Most of us don't see ourselves as beautiful. Most of us don't see ourselves as awesome. Chances are, if you ask a woman how is she would begin to tell you about her task. She would begin to tell you about how she feels. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. You'll tend to get from most women things that are negative about what is going on with her. She less seldom recognizes the awesomeness of who she is. And that is just many times, what social media projects a woman should look like, what she should be doing. And so there is this level of comparison that happens among women. And it's really disheartening. But I want to say to you today that we have to begin. Hear what I said. We have to begin to see ourselves as how God sees us. We have to begin to affirm ourselves and tell ourselves that I am enough. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm a trailblazer. I am smart, I'm successful, I'm dependable, I'm determined. We have to begin to see ourselves. I am loved, right? And we're gonna have to begin to say those things to ourselves, because it's not just good to hear, right? It's empowering as well. There's nothing like a woman who is assured of herself. We're not talking about being cocky or boastful or prideful, but just the reality, just the fact, you know what? I am someone special. Somebody looks to me for help. Somebody looks to me for guidance. I'm going to take care of myself. You know what I mean? It just causes an explosion in the spirit when we begin to affirm and to see ourselves as how God sees us, and we walk with a different level of authority when that happens as well. But I am just so fascinated with Jael. Again, we don't know much about her in scripture, but what stuck out for me was that she seized the moment. She seized the moment. She was not looking for an applause. She was not looking for a pat on the back. She was not looking to be exalted. She wasn't even looking to be written in the scripture. But she rose to the occasion. She was there when it mattered, and she seized the opportunity. And so many of us, we can't do certain things if we're not seen. Most of us can't do anything if we're not going to get flowers. Most of us are not going to do anything if somebody don't see us. As a matter of fact, some of us do things to be seen, but she was not like that. She was at the right place at the right time, and she did the right thing, and God honored her. God etched her name in his love story. It's so powerful to me that if you read back in Judges, Deborah was a prophetess, and she was the judge of Israel at the time. And she had close relations with Barak, who you would consider in our time the chief in command of the army. He was a fighter. He was a warrior. He was trained to do so. But Deborah had a prophecy that says that the King Sisera, his demise is going to be caused from the hand of a woman. That was the prophecy that Deborah echoed. And King Sisera was a wicked king. He tormented the Israelites, killed them, and was just really, he was problematic to them. And Deborah told Barak, hey, I need you to go after him. But the Bible described in Judges that he got away. And he found himself, he got away on foot, he found himself in Jael's house, in her tent. And Jael recognized he is running for his life. Jael recognized that he's on the run. He escaped battle, and he is now seeking refuge in her home. And I can imagine what she was feeling at the time. I can imagine her heart was racing. But I believed that she settled down, and she welcomed him in, and she offered him some milk. She soothed him. She gave him milk. You know what milk does to baby? It soothes them. And then they go off to la la land. They go off to sleep. And that's exactly what King Sisera did. She gave him some milk. And he drank the milk. And he went to sleep. And she said, aha. Just like what Deborah prophesied was about to come to pass. She didn't know the prophecy was going to be fulfilled through her. You know, because you would think that Deborah would have been the one who would have, you know, killed him. You know, would have been the one with her prestige and honor and leadership. You'd have think that she would have been the one, but she spoke the word. And an unlikely woman, an unlikely woman, just like you, just like me, says, okay, enemy, you're in my house. You're on the run. You're at the wrong house. I'm not going to toy with you. I am not going to play with you. And she waited until he was snoring in her little tent. You ever heard somebody snore before? Have you ever heard somebody snore? It feels like the roof is about to blow off. You know, that's how much of a sleep he was in. He was snoring. And she recognized the assignment. And she said, you're not escaping. I'm not going to wait for you to wake up and gain strength and composure. And so that you can devise another plan on how you're going to destroy the Israelites. She said, not on my watch. Not on my watch. And she took one of her 10 pegs. Her 10 pegs, she took one of them. And she put it in his temple. And nailed it to the ground. She nailed his head to the ground. It was my friend David who said, Goliath, I want to make sure that you're dead. I just don't want you flat on the ground. I'm going to take your head off. JL said, listen, same thing. I'm going to take your head. I'm coming for your head. I'm coming for your authority. I'm coming for you. The Bible said she nailed his head to the ground. And she ran off. And she went to call the soldiers and said, come. You don't have to fight. He's dead. You don't have to raise your sword. He is annihilated. He is defeated. He will be no more. Come, he's in my house as dead as a doorknob. Come get him. What I love about the story is that God uses unlikely people that are available, people that are not looking for anything, people that just serves. And a great victory was wrought through an unlikely woman. Victory was in her hand, and she seized the moment. We don't know what she looks like. We don't know if she was gordo or slim. We don't know if she was light skin or dark skin. We don't know if she had a degree or not. We don't know. But what we do know is that she recognized an enemy of the living God and of his people. And he thought that he had a refuge in her home. Be careful when the enemy thinks that he has a refuge in your home. That could preach. That could preach. I said, be careful that the enemy would think that he could come in your house and gossip. I said, be careful that the enemy is not presumptuous to think I could come in your house and sow discord and plot and laugh at others and demean others in my house. And you know how the enemy is cunning. Because the enemy don't come in with a red suit and a horn and a fork, a pitchfork. He comes in dressed like the people that you love, and the people that you call friend, and the people that you call family, and they're in your house. I said, be careful. The enemy. What kind of room we're giving him to come in to our house and to plant seeds. And we entertain him. And even if she did it before, she said, not today, not today, not today. It's over. Don't come in my house and talk and don't do it. Don't come in my house and plot. Don't come in my house and scheme. Don't come in my house. I pay the mortgage here. Not in my house. You know what? We used to do it, but not anymore. No. Take it somewhere else. But not here. It stops here. The enemy thought he could find refuge, a place of safety, a place of comfort, to the point where he fell asleep and was snoring on top of it. Because you had to be in a deep sleep. You had to be gonzo. Dead. You know, some people, they sleep dead. I mean, he was comfortable. That she could have put a nail at his head and he felt nothing. That means he felt that he was safe. God Almighty, that's a word. Wasn't even thinking about it. That the enemy can come into our spaces, into our domains, and think that he has a home. No. But she said, not today. Not today, King Sisera. Not today. You're going to die. And God delivered him in her hands. That the trained soldiers didn't have to fight. That's a word right there, ladies. Are you sleeping with the enemy? Are you friends with the enemy? Lord God Almighty, Jesus, you are something incredible. Because sometimes, we like to point fingers. Because when we're doing it, apparently it's not sin. When somebody else is doing it, oh my God. When the enemy is in our house laughing and talking and carrying on, it's not sin. Oh, we're just conversating. We're just chatting. But when he's over at somebody else's house, oh, we can see it. We can see and we can talk about it. But when he's in our home, when he's sleeping in our beds, and when he crosses his line in our living rooms and sitting at our dining room table, oh, we don't see it then. But we see him when he's at somebody else's house. God, help. Send help. But Jael said, you know what? I'm going to seize the moment. And I'm saying to you today, my friends, some opportunities are knocking at your door. And you may think that you're not the one who's supposed to answer. You might be like a Rhoda. You hear the opportunity knocking. You see the opportunity knocking. And God is nudging you and telling you, it's you. But you keep talking yourself out of it. You keep talking yourself out of it. You keep walking out of it. A matter of fact, you keep delegating the task. You're saying it's somebody else who's supposed to do it. But God said, no, it's you. It's you that I want. It's you that I want. And I've been reflecting on this since yesterday. I've just been reflecting on this yesterday, her story. And it's just ruminating in my spirit. And I'm saying, God, what are you trying to say to me? What are you trying to say? Because I believe when God drops something on you, God is trying to say something to you. And I'm saying, God, what are you trying to say? Because sometimes, man, I can tell you just this little piece of honesty. Sometimes, I feel like, God, I'm not qualified to do your biddings. I can show you some qualified folks, God. I'm not qualified to speak your word. I can show you some qualified folks, not me. I can show you. I can call some names out for you, God. And that's so some of us feel sometimes. We just feel like, I won't be the one. I can't be the one. And I've been journaling about it yesterday. So I have my journal with me, and over there I was writing some things. I'm like, I am enough. I wrote it down in my journal. I am enough. This has been sitting on me. So I wanted to share with you today. I just wanted to encourage you, and I wanted to tell you that you are enough, because he is more than enough, and he died for you. He died, and a part of what came with his death was empowerment, liberty, access. You can do it. You will do it. And don't worry about the other stuff. Don't worry about the other stuff. Just do what God has called you to do. And the God that I know and the God that I'm still learning has a way of etching your name in history. That's the God that I know. He has a way of making somebody remember you. He has a way of making somebody ask for you randomly. He has a way of jogging somebody's memory. He has a way. So what you do for him does not go unforgotten, does not go unnoticed. And this Jael woman name, if you read, I'm telling you, if you read Judges, because I missed it so many times until it was 2 years ago, I believe. It was 2 years ago now. I talked about her 2 years ago, and I was speaking. Yeah, 2 years ago, or a year ago, I think. I don't remember, a year or 2 years ago. A year to 2 years ago. And I was reading it. I was like, hold on a minute. Didn't steal it from a book. Didn't steal it from a tape. I was reading the book of Judges, and I was like, Jael? And I was like, a man or a woman? It was a woman. You know, and I'm telling you, it has changed me. And so today, this yesterday, she came back again, and I'm saying, all right, God. So I just want to share. I want to share that with you today. I want to share with you, unscripted. I want to share with you today that you are who God is looking for. You are who God is trying to use. You're who God is trying to empower. Yes, you. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter your environment. It doesn't matter your financial status. It doesn't matter your educational status. It does not matter your relational status. It don't matter. It really doesn't matter. The question is, are you available? Will you submit to him? Will you allow him to lead you? Will you allow him to nudge you in those moments? Would you allow him to just do a work through you? Would you allow him to strengthen you to take down the enemy? Not just one that will plague you, but one that is plaguing a nation. I'm telling you, God is calling you for more. What did I say? God is calling you for more. For more. What did I say to you in our devotion the other day? The process is polishing your purpose. Listen, I don't know where God has called you to. I don't know if you're called to the nations. I don't know if you're called to a country. I don't know if you're called to the town. I don't know if you're called to the street. I don't know what you're called for. I don't know the size of your assignment. I do not know. That is for you to find out. I don't know. But wherever he called you, no matter how minuscule the task is, do it as unto the Lord. No matter how grandiose it is, do it as unto the Lord. Doesn't matter where he calls you. I know it doesn't matter who he calls you to. Presidents and prime ministers and it doesn't matter who he calls head of state. It doesn't matter who he calls you to. If he calls you to what some would consider the bums on the street, it doesn't matter. You know, and this just came to my mind, and I'm done. You know, I have a Time magazine. Is it Time or People? One of them. They did a tribute to Mother Teresa several years ago, actually. And Mother Teresa served the people in Calcutta, in India. I mean, she wasn't looking for anything in return, but the people that were poor and dying and hungry on the streets of India. She served them for years without recognition. Who am I talking to right now? For years without recognition in Calcutta. For years she was doing her thing. And then one day, someone would say out of the blue, but she wasn't doing it for the light. She wasn't doing it for the camera. She wasn't doing it. No, that's not what she was. She was serving the people who couldn't do anything for themselves and who couldn't do anything for her. She saw the need. She recognized she was on assignment. And then all of a sudden, the media got a wind of her story, and they started to flock the area. All of a sudden, nationwide recognition, Princess Diana, Lord have mercy, presidents, and I mean those who are affluent people, all of a sudden took notice. She even got the Nobel Peace Prize award, one of the highest honors. My MLK got one of the highest honors one could get in this lifetime. She was recognized after, years of service. to the people. And when the cameras were gone, and when Princess Di, and I love Princess Di, when everything was still gone, you would think that, oh my God, she would change her posture and change things about her. No. She went back to the streets and she empowered others. And even though she's passed, her legacy lives on. I'm here to tell you, man, God is calling you for something extraordinary. Do it to the glory of God. And you may not look like much. I preached this message years ago. I said, you may not look like much, but you're powerful in the eyes of God. All you have to do is not stand in your own strength, but stand in the strength of God and watch God do great exploits in your life. Keep doing what you are doing. I know you feel hold on, I just saw this thing here, man. I know you feel the pressure. I know you feel unnoticed. It's okay. I know you feel like you're just plowing. I know you feel like, my God, when is it going to end? Late nights, early mornings. Just keep doing what you're doing. Once God send you an assignment, do what you got to do and do it well. And God has a way of using you. If you keep prepared, when the moment arrives, you don't have to prepare yourself. You would already be prepared. What you're going through is training. Yes, God, it's training. It's training. Those soldiers, they train and they train and they train. Not because every day there's a war, but they train and they train and they train. Because why? They're gonna get a call. So the same thing. It feels like, man, this is mundane. This is mundane. This is mundane. Oh. You know, you see everybody else, quote unquote, getting a break. You see everybody else stepping up in life, and everybody else is. But sometimes we don't know what those people have done. We don't know the process that they had to go through. You stay the course. And when the enemy comes in your door, when the opportunity knocks on your door, God is going to allow you to win the victory. We'll talk soon. Hope this encourages you close to my destination. So I'm going to wrap this up. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day, going into the weekend. God bless you, and tell yourself, I am enough. Talk soon. Bye-bye.